What if the answer you've been searching for, to feel strong again, to wake up with energy, to feel that spark of confidence and connection in the bedroom again, wasn't locked away in a prescription bottle, wasn't hidden in some expensive supplement, or buried in hours of research? What if it was already in your kitchen, sitting quietly, unnoticed, right there next to the salt, a small, unremarkable box, a white powder most people use to scrub the sink or keep the fridge fresh? But for men over 60, that same powder may just help reignite blood flow, ease inflammation, and quietly restore something deeper: your sense of manhood, your vitality, your peace of mind. Imagine this for a moment. You wake up one morning, and for the first time in a long time, you feel awake. Not just eyes open, but alive, energized. You feel a little lighter, a little clearer. And when you glance down at yourself, let's just say things are starting to respond again. You didn't change your diet. You didn't pop a pill. You didn't sign up for an expensive program. You simply helped your body rebalance itself, naturally. You see, for thousands of men across the world, even patients I've worked with personally, a small daily habit involving baking soda has made a quiet but powerful difference in circulation, in energy, and yes, in erections. Not overnight, not magic, just science, and a little support for the systems in your body that are still trying their best to work for you, even after all these years. And if you've been quietly struggling, if you've ever felt like you've lost a part of yourself, this video might just be the start of something different, something hopeful. Because today I'm going to walk you through 10 powerful science-backed ways baking soda can support stronger erections, improve your blood flow, calm your nervous system, and even help you feel like yourself again. And near the end, I'll share a special morning ritual, simple, natural, that one of my patients used to completely transform the way he felt each day. It's easy to do, costs next to nothing, and it might just surprise you. But before we begin, if you're over 60 or you love someone who is, go ahead and type "I'm here" in the comments below. We read every single one, and you're not alone on this journey. And if you're ready to learn more about how to take back your strength, gently, naturally, tap that subscribe button and hit the bell. Here at Next Chapter Wisdom, we share real, practical health tools made for you. No hype, no shame, just hope. Now, let's get into the first hidden benefit of baking soda and why it might be the key to restoring blood flow where it matters most. Let's begin. Let's start with something that almost no one talks about, but that quietly affects almost everything about how you feel as you get older: your body's pH balance. Now, I know you probably haven't thought much about acidity since high school science class, but here's the thing. As men age, your internal environment slowly becomes more acidic. Not because you've done something wrong, it's just what happens with time. Stress, processed food, certain medications, less movement, they all add up. And when that happens, your blood vessels, especially the small, delicate ones responsible for sexual function, they start to tighten, the walls become rigid, the space for blood to flow gets narrower. It's like trying to water a garden with a kinked-up hose. You turn on the tap, but barely a trickle gets through. Now, most men notice the symptoms: slower arousal, weaker erections, cold hands and feet, even fatigue. And the first thought is, maybe it's my heart, maybe it's low testosterone. But often, it's not your heart, it's not your hormones, it's your blood chemistry, out of balance. Here's where baking soda comes in. When taken in small, measured amounts, it acts as a natural alkalizer. That means it gently brings your body's pH back to a more neutral state. Not too acidic, not too alkaline, just balanced. And when that balance is restored, your blood vessels start to relax. They open up, they become more flexible, more responsive, allowing blood to move freely, especially to the places where it matters most. One of my patients once told me, "Doc, it's like I can feel the pressure lifting, like my blood is moving again." That's not imagination. That's chemistry at work. That's your body saying thank you. It doesn't take much. Just a quarter to half a teaspoon of baking soda in water on an empty stomach. Done gently, done consistently. And over time, it begins to support that free-flowing circulation you haven't felt in years. Now, is this a cure-all? No, but it is a foundation, because healthy blood flow is where everything begins. And if your blood is finally moving, it can start to deliver something else that's just as important: oxygen. But before oxygen can do its job, there's something else that might be standing in your way, something even more dangerous, because it doesn't shout, it whispers, it builds slowly, and it blocks everything from the inside out. Now let's go deeper, beneath the surface, beyond what you can see or feel on the outside, because there's something happening inside many men over 60 that no one ever warned you about. It's quiet, it's invisible, and it's one of the biggest reasons why your energy, your mood, your drive, even your erections, start to slowly fade. I'm talking about inflammation, not the kind that comes with pain or swelling, but a slower kind, a chronic, low-grade kind, the kind that chips away at your health day by day, without ever making a sound. Here's what it does. It begins to harden the delicate lining inside your blood vessels, especially in areas that matter most, like the vessels in your heart, your brain, and yes, your manhood. See, your body needs to make something called nitric oxide to relax those blood vessels and let blood rush in when the time is right. It's like a green light for arousal. But when inflammation creeps in, it blocks that green light. It jams the signal. So your mind might be ready. Your desire might be strong. But physically, nothing happens. And here's the part that surprises most men. This inflammation often shows up even if your cholesterol is fine, even if your blood pressure is managed, even if you feel pretty healthy, because it builds in the background, in your kidneys, in your spleen, in your vascular lining, places that don't scream for attention until things stop working altogether. Now, the good news? Baking soda has been shown in multiple studies to calm this type of inflammation, not in an aggressive way, not like a drug, but gently, subtly. It helps your immune system settle down, stops it from attacking your own tissues, and gives your blood vessels the breathing room they need to open up again. It's like clearing a blocked path. You may not notice it at first, but over time you start to feel lighter, more at ease, more like yourself. One man I worked with once said, "Doc, I didn't realize how tense my body was until it wasn't anymore." That's the power of reducing internal inflammation. And when you start to clear it, everything begins to flow better. Your blood, your energy, even your thoughts. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because if inflammation is the roadblock, then nitric oxide, that tiny but mighty molecule, is the spark that gets the whole system moving again. And in the next section, you'll learn why baking soda might just be the missing link in helping your body make more of it naturally. Let's keep going. This next part could change everything. Now let's talk about something that most men have never heard of, but it's absolutely essential for any kind of intimacy to even begin. It's called nitric oxide. Don't let the name throw you off. This isn't some fancy medical term meant to confuse you. This is a tiny molecule that acts like a messenger inside your body. And when it's working right, it's what gives your blood vessels permission to open up wide, so blood can flow freely into the places that need it most. In simple terms, nitric oxide is the green light, the spark, the signal that says, "Let's go, we're ready." But when your body stops making enough of it, even if you feel desire in your mind, even if your heart is in it, your body just doesn't respond. It's frustrating. It's confusing. And for many men over 60, it feels like something's been switched off inside. Now, here's what often happens. You start to notice things aren't working like they used to. So you turn to pills, blue ones, white ones, something quick, something strong. And for a while, maybe it helps. But here's the thing. Those pills don't do. They don't fix the underlying problem. They don't help your body make more nitric oxide on its own. They don't rebuild your natural signaling system. They just push a button on a machine that's already struggling. And over time, that machine breaks down even more. Now, this is where baking soda quietly steps into the picture again. It doesn't create nitric oxide directly, but it does something just as important. It protects it. See, when your body becomes too acidic, When inflammation is high and oxygen is low, nitric oxide starts to break down faster than your body can make it. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in it. But baking soda, by helping your body become more alkaline, creates a gentler environment inside your blood vessels. It helps preserve nitric oxide, keeps it from breaking down too quickly, and that means when the moment comes, your body can respond, not forced, but naturally. It's a subtle shift. You might not feel it overnight, but with time, you begin to notice your body feels more awake, more in sync with your desire, like the signal is finally getting through again. One of my patients once told me, "Doc, I don't feel like I'm fighting my body anymore. It actually wants to respond." That's the gift of nitric oxide. And that's the quiet support baking soda can offer, when used safely and consistently. But there's one more layer to this story, because even if blood is flowing, even if nitric oxide is doing its job, there's one more ingredient your body absolutely needs for strong, lasting performance. And that ingredient is oxygen. Let's talk about why that matters, and how baking soda can help your body deliver oxygen exactly where it's needed most. Let's keep going. Because even if your blood is flowing well, even if nitric oxide is doing its job, there's still one more piece of the puzzle that needs to fall into place. And that piece is oxygen. Now, I want you to think about this. Blood is just the delivery system. But what it's delivering, what really powers your tissues, your muscles, your performance, is oxygen. That's what brings energy. That's what brings life. And when it comes to intimacy, that's what allows your tissues to not only respond, but to stay firm, stay present, and stay strong. Here's the problem, though. As we age, our body's ability to carry and deliver oxygen begins to slow down. Not always in a dramatic way. Sometimes it's subtle. You might feel a little more winded climbing stairs. You might notice your limbs feel colder than they used to, or you might be waking up with fewer or weaker morning erections. Even though your heart and hormones look fine on paper, that's often a sign your tissues simply aren't getting enough oxygen. Not at the right time, not in the right places. And when that happens, even if the blood shows up, your tissue can't fully expand. It can't fully respond. And what you're left with is a weak, short-lived, or barely there erection. Now, here's the beautiful part. This is another area where baking soda lends a quiet hand. When your blood becomes more alkaline, which baking soda helps support, your red blood cells are better able to release oxygen where it's needed. They don't just carry it, they let it go. Right at the moment your body is asking for it most. It's like the difference between someone handing you a gift and someone holding onto it too tightly. Alkalinity helps the hand open, helps the oxygen reach its target. And that target is the erectile tissue inside your penis. The very tissue that needs to be flooded with oxygen-rich blood to stay firm, responsive, and alive. One of my older patients once told me, "Doc, it's strange. I didn't even realize how dull everything had become until it started feeling warm again." And what he was describing wasn't just blood flow, it was oxygenation, that gentle warmth, that sense of life returning. It wasn't artificial, it wasn't forced, it was his body finally catching up. So yes, baking soda can support this process, not by overwhelming the system, but by creating the right environment for your body to do what it was always designed to do. Help your cells breathe, help your tissues stay responsive, help you feel like you again. And now that we've talked about blood flow, nitric oxide, and oxygen, let's go even deeper. Because inside your body, within the tissues responsible for sustaining erections, there are tiny energy engines working around the clock. And when those engines get tired, so does everything else. Let's talk about those next, and how baking soda can help refuel them from the inside out. Now that your blood is flowing, nitric oxide is firing, and oxygen is finally being delivered where it's needed. You'd think that's enough, right? But there's still one more part of your body that has to step up. And most men don't even know it exists. It's not just about getting blood into your penis. It's about holding it there, sustaining it, keeping that firmness, that connection, that confidence. And the part of your body responsible for that job is something called smooth muscle tissue. Now, here's what you may not know. Inside your penis, There are tiny bands of smooth muscle that work like a trapdoor. When arousal begins, these muscles relax just enough to let blood rush in, and then, just as quickly, they contract, holding that blood in place. That's what keeps your erection strong. That's what gives it longevity. But these muscles don't run on willpower. They don't run on testosterone. They run on energy. And where does that energy come from? From tiny little engines inside your cells called mitochondria. Now think of mitochondria like miniature power plants. They take in fuel and oxygen and turn them into clean, usable energy your muscles can depend on. But here's the problem. As you age, those power plants start to slow down, especially if your body is acidic, especially if inflammation is creeping in, especially if your cells are clogged with waste like lactic acid, which builds up when your tissues are under stress. What happens then? Your muscles fatigue faster. They struggle to hold that blood in, and your erection, even if it starts strong, just doesn't last. It fizzles out, and you're left feeling like something short-circuited halfway through. But again, this is where baking soda becomes a quiet, natural ally. You see, baking soda helps your body in two powerful ways here. First, it neutralizes excess lactic acid, helping clear the buildup that drains your energy at the cellular level. Second, it creates a more alkaline environment where your mitochondria can operate more efficiently. More fuel, less waste, smoother function. It's like lifting the fog inside your muscle cells, letting them breathe again, letting them power up, letting them hold on, long enough to do their job fully and completely. One man once described it to me like this: "Doc, I feel like the engine's finally turning over again. Not roaring, not perfect, but at least it's not stalling out anymore." And that's what mitochondrial support really is. It's not a turbo boost. It's not an overnight miracle. It's your body finally restoring function so your performance feels grounded, reliable, steady. So if you've ever felt like things just shut down halfway through, like you run out of gas even when you want to keep going, there's a good chance your energy engines, those mitochondria, need a little help. And baking soda, with its simple, natural ability to support energy at the cellular level, could be the missing piece. But here's something else most men don't realize. Even if your energy is strong, even if your muscle function is sharp, if your hormones aren't being heard, if your testosterone can't connect, you'll still feel flat. Let's look at how baking soda plays a surprising role in helping your testosterone do its job again. Now, here's something I hear all the time. "Doc, I got my testosterone levels checked, and they say I'm normal, but I don't feel normal." You might be waking up groggy, dragging through your day, snapping at your loved ones without meaning to. And when it comes to intimacy, there's just nothing there. No spark, no drive, no follow-through, and it leaves you wondering, if my testosterone is fine, then what's wrong with me? Here's what most men don't know. Having testosterone is only half the story. The other half is whether your body can actually hear the message it's trying to send. Think of it like this. Testosterone is the voice. But if your body's cells are wearing earplugs, they can't hear a word. And what causes those earplugs? Acidity, inflammation, cellular stress. These things make your hormone receptors sluggish. They muffle the signal. So your testosterone is out there knocking, but no one's answering the door. This is where baking soda does something subtle, but incredibly important. By reducing acidity in your bloodstream, by calming inflammation around your cells, it creates an internal environment where your receptors can finally listen again. It's not about raising your testosterone. It's about making the most of what you already have, helping your hormones do the job they were designed to do. And when that connection is restored, things start to shift. You don't just feel it in the bedroom. You feel it in your energy, in your motivation, in the way you get up in the morning and face the day. One of my patients, Martin, 64, put it perfectly. He said, "I didn't need more testosterone. I just needed my body to use it. And now I feel like myself again." So if your labs say you're fine, but your body says something else, don't ignore that feeling. You know yourself better than a number on a chart. And sometimes the solution isn't in more treatment. It's in clearing the static, giving your hormones a clearer line of communication. And baking soda, as simple as it sounds, may be part of how you do just that. But hormones don't act alone. They're influenced by the organs that process them, recycle them, and clear out the waste your body no longer needs. If your liver and kidneys are overworked or sluggish, even the best hormones can get trapped in the system. So now let's explore how baking soda gently supports these unsung heroes and helps your whole body function more freely again. Now let's shift our focus inward to two of the most important yet most overlooked organs in a man's body, your liver and your kidneys. These two don't get much attention unless something goes really wrong. But every single day, without fanfare, they're doing the heavy lifting. Your liver filters toxins from your blood, processes and recycles hormones, and helps convert food into clean energy. Your kidneys, on the other hand, balance your blood pressure, flush out waste, and maintain your body's pH levels with incredible precision. Now here's the truth. When these organs are running smoothly, you feel it. You feel lighter, more energetic, more clear-headed. But when they're overworked, when toxins start piling up, when your body becomes too acidic, everything begins to slow down. You might feel bloated, foggy, worn out, disconnected from your desire. Even your mood may shift without warning. And sadly, most men don't realize this slow clog is happening. They think it's just aging, but often it's your liver and kidneys quietly asking for help. This is where baking soda offers something gentle, but powerful. Not in the form of a harsh detox, not with cleanses or fads, just a little natural support. That helps lighten the load these organs carry every single day. When taken in small, consistent amounts, baking soda can help reduce the acid burden on your kidneys, making their job easier, their function smoother. And by creating a more alkaline internal environment, it helps your liver do what it does best: break down waste, regulate hormones, and keep your blood flowing clean and balanced. It's like opening the windows and letting fresh air into a stuffy room. You might not notice the dust being swept away, but you do feel the difference. One man I remember, Carlos, a quiet accountant in his 70s, told me, "Doc, I don't know how to explain it, but my body feels lighter, like I'm not carrying something around all the time." That's what better detox feels like. Not dramatic, not punishing, just a quiet clearing of the clutter. So your systems can breathe again, function again, respond again. Because when your liver and kidneys are supported, everything else starts working better. Your energy, your digestion, your hormone balance, even your intimacy. And yet, there's something else we need to talk about. Something that's quietly sabotaging men's vitality every single day. It's not a virus. It's not aging. It's a craving. One that leads to weight gain, hormone imbalance, and low confidence. Let's talk next about sugar cravings and how baking soda might just help you get back in control. Now, I want to talk to you about something most men don't like to admit, but almost every man over 60 has dealt with it. That stubborn belly fat, that extra weight around your midsection that just won't budge. No matter how well you eat, no matter how much you walk, no matter how hard you try to cut back. And then there are those cravings, the late night hunger, the constant reach for something sweet, the urge to grab another piece of bread after dinner. Even when you're not really hungry, you might chalk it up to habit or say it's just part of getting older. But here's the truth. These cravings and that belly fat, they're not just cosmetic, they're chemical. See, fat that builds up around your belly, especially the deep kind known as visceral fat, isn't just sitting there quietly. It's active. It interferes with your hormones. In particular, it produces an enzyme called aromatase, which actually converts your testosterone into estrogen. So the more belly fat you carry, the less usable testosterone you have, and the more your hormonal balance shifts in the wrong direction. Your motivation dips, your energy weakens, your drive fades, and as estrogen rises, so do cravings, especially for sugar and processed carbs. It becomes a loop, one that's hard to break. But here's where baking soda steps in again, not as a miracle solution, but as a support tool to help break that cycle. When taken properly, baking soda can help your body stabilize blood sugar levels. That means fewer sharp spikes and fewer deep crashes. And when your blood sugar stays more stable throughout the day, those intense cravings, they begin to fade. You're no longer driven by sudden hunger. You start to regain control, not just of what you eat, but how you feel about yourself. And remember what we said earlier. A more alkaline environment supports hormone balance. So as your cravings drop, as your belly fat begins to shift, your testosterone becomes more available. Your body begins to rebuild its hormonal foundation. You may not see the change on the scale right away, but you will feel it in your energy, in your mood, and in the mirror. One of my patients, Jack, a former high school football coach, told me something that stuck with me. He said, "This belly was weighing me down in more ways than one, Doc. But now, I look in the mirror and I don't see a man giving up anymore." That's not just about weight, that's about hope returning. And baking soda, when used wisely, can be part of that journey, helping you regain control over cravings, support healthier hormone balance, and take real, lasting steps toward the man you still are. But cravings and fat aren't the only enemies working in the background. There's another layer, deeper than fat, quieter than hormones, and it's hidden inside your nervous system. If your nerves are stuck in high alert, if your body doesn't feel safe or relaxed, even the healthiest systems can shut down during intimacy. Let's talk now about how baking soda may help calm your system from the inside, so you can reconnect fully and freely. Now let's talk about something that most men never connect to their performance. But it might just be the root cause of why things aren't working the way they used to, even when everything else seems fine. I'm talking about your nervous system, not your heart, not your testosterone, not your blood flow, but the quiet signals being sent between your brain and your body. See, here's something a lot of men don't realize. You can have the desire, you can have the motivation, you can even have the right partner in the right moment. But if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, if it's locked in stress mode or running on high alert from years of pressure, trauma, or fatigue, your body can shut everything down. No warning, no explanation, just nothing. And that's not your fault. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's simply your body saying, "No, I'm not ready to connect right now. I don't feel calm enough to respond." This is what we call the imbalance between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. In simple terms, one side is your fight or flight response. It keeps you sharp, reactive, on edge. The other side is your rest and respond mode. That's where intimacy happens. That's where connection begins. That's where your body feels safe enough to open up. And unfortunately, as we age, chronic stress, inflammation, and poor sleep can trap us in the wrong mode. Even when you want to be close, your body doesn't trust the moment. This is where baking soda offers a truly surprising benefit, not through stimulation, but through restoration. By helping to reduce internal acidity and ease systemic inflammation, baking soda supports the organs, like the kidneys and spleen, that play a major role in regulating nervous system signals. In other words, it doesn't just support your blood and hormones, it gently helps your body shift back into that calming, peaceful state, the one where you feel safe, relaxed, and open to connection. I remember one man, Tom, a military veteran in his 70s. He said, "Doc, I love my wife, I really do. But every time we get close, I freeze up. My body just shuts off." We worked on breath work, gentle movement, and yes, baking soda just a few times a week to support his system. And a few weeks later, he came back and said something I'll never forget. "My body finally feels calm enough to love again." That's the shift. That's the healing. Because when your nervous system is calm, everything else can come online. Your blood vessels respond, your breathing slows, your senses awaken, your touch deepens, and the intimacy that once felt far away becomes possible again, naturally, gently, and without fear. And now, as we come to the final benefit, let's talk about how to supercharge everything we've just explored. By adding just one more simple ingredient, something that might already be sitting on your kitchen counter. Now, if you've made it this far, you already understand that something as humble as baking soda can support blood flow, oxygen, hormones, inflammation, and even your nervous system. But here's where things get even more interesting. Because when you combine baking soda with just one more simple, natural ingredient, its benefits become even more powerful, even more targeted, Even more complete. I'm talking about something you probably already have in your kitchen. Lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. Yes, seriously, that same lemon you squeeze over fish or that bottle of ACV sitting quietly in your pantry can help take all of these benefits to the next level. Here's how it works. Both lemon juice and apple cider vinegar are rich in natural antioxidants. They support digestion, they help stimulate bile flow from the liver, and they can even assist with blood sugar regulation, which, as we just talked about, is key to controlling cravings and hormonal balance. But when you combine them with baking soda, you create a gentle, natural reaction in your body. It's not explosive, it's not overwhelming. It's subtle, like a soft fizz inside your system that quietly does the work, reducing excess acidity, easing pressure on the kidneys, supporting the liver's detox efforts, and helping nitric oxide stay stable and available when you need it most. Now, I want to share a simple morning ritual that's helped dozens of my patients feel better from the inside out. It goes like this: 1 glass of warm water, a fresh squeeze of lemon or a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and about 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix gently, let it fizz and settle for a few seconds, and then sip it slowly, preferably on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. That's it. No fancy equipment, no expensive ingredients, just a glass, a lemon or ACV, and a little baking soda. One man, Barry, 74, started doing this simple ritual each morning. At first, he was skeptical. He told me, "I didn't think it would do much, Doc, but after a few weeks, I'm waking up with energy again. My digestion's smoother. And honestly, I feel like I'm showing up better for myself and for my partner." That's not magic. That's the body coming back into balance. And when your systems are aligned, when your gut, your blood, your nerves, and your hormones are all supported, you start to feel present again, in your body, in your mind, and in your connection with the one you love. This isn't about fixing everything overnight. It's about small, intentional steps that help your body find its rhythm again. So yes, this little combo of baking soda and lemon or apple cider vinegar, it's not a cure, but it's a gentle nudge in the right direction. A way to begin again, naturally, confidently, and without shame. Now, let's take a deep breath and let everything we've learned settle in, because you've just discovered 10 powerful ways to support your body as a man over 60. And the most beautiful part? It all starts with something already in your kitchen. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. Stay with me, because this next part is just as important. Now, I want to say something that might not be easy to hear, but it's important. For many men, this journey, the slow decline in energy, in performance, in confidence, it's not really about erections, it's about identity. It's about that quiet, unspoken fear that maybe you're not the man you used to be, not as strong, not as needed, not as connected to yourself, to your partner, or to life. And I want you to know, you're not alone in feeling that. You're not weak for noticing it. You're not broken because things have changed. Losing that spark, whether it's physical or emotional, can feel like losing a part of yourself. It can creep in slowly, so quietly that one day you just realize you've stopped reaching for your partner at night. You've stopped expecting that early morning feeling. You've stopped looking in the mirror the way you used to. And when that spark goes quiet, it can feel like a door closing. But I'm here to remind you of something powerful. That door, it's not locked. Your body is still capable. Your desire is still valid. And your manhood, it's not defined by performance. It's defined by your presence, your resilience, your willingness to keep showing up for yourself and for those you love. This isn't about fear. This isn't about shame. This is about readiness, empowerment, having real tools, simple, natural practices you can try right now that might gently guide your body back to balance. You've just learned about 10 real ways. Baking soda can support your blood flow, your hormones, your energy, and your peace of mind. So don't wait for things to get worse. Don't wait until you've given up on the parts of life that still matter to you. Start small. Try the morning ritual. Warm water, a squeeze of lemon, a little baking soda. Do it gently, do it consistently, and just see what changes. Notice how you feel. Notice if your mornings come with a little more ease, a little more clarity, a little more spark, because the truth is, you're not broken. You're not too old. You're not past your prime. You're just at a different chapter. And that chapter still holds power. It still holds connection. It still holds joy, strength, and intimacy, if you're willing to reach for it. I've seen it happen again and again. Men who thought they were finished, only to discover that their body just needed a little help, a little support, a little time. And suddenly, they're waking up with something they haven't felt in years: hope. So wherever you are on your journey, know this: vitality is still possible. Joy is still within reach. And you, my friend, still have a lot of life left to live. Let's walk into that next chapter, stronger, wiser, and with renewed purpose. And as we begin to close this video, let me quickly recap everything we've learned today, so you can take that first small step with confidence. Stay with me. You're not done yet. Let's take a moment and breathe this all in, because today you've just taken a powerful step toward understanding your body. Not with fear, not with confusion, but with clarity and courage. So let's quickly recap what we've covered, because these aren't just tips. They're tools. They're insights that could help shape the way you care for your health moving forward. We talked about 10 science-backed ways that something as simple as baking soda, something already sitting in your kitchen, can support your body as it ages. We covered how it can balance your blood's pH for better circulation, calm the silent inflammation that blocks performance, protect and support nitric oxide production, improve how oxygen gets delivered to your tissues, fuel the tiny engines inside your smooth muscle cells, help your testosterone actually connect with your body, gently support your liver and kidneys in detox, reduce sugar cravings and support healthy weight, calm your nervous system so your body feels safe to respond, and finally, how combining it with lemon or apple cider vinegar can gently enhance all those benefits, all without prescriptions, without shame, without pressure. Just small, thoughtful steps that support the man you still are and the man you're still becoming. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used baking soda for anything other than cleaning or cooking? Maybe for digestion? Maybe as a gentle detox? Or maybe this is all new to you. Either way, drop a comment below. Tell me what you've noticed or what you're hoping for, because this isn't just a video. This is a conversation, and your voice matters here. And if this message reached you today, if it gave you something new to consider, or maybe just made you feel a little seen, a little heard, then I'd love to invite you to subscribe to this channel. Next Chapter Wisdom. We're building a place where men over 60 can learn without judgment, ask questions without embarrassment, and find real, honest guidance rooted in science and heart. No fluff, no pressure, just wisdom for your next chapter. So go ahead, tap that subscribe button, give this video a like if it meant something to you, and don't forget to share it with someone who might quietly be searching for answers. A brother, a neighbor, a friend who still wants to feel alive. And remember, you're not behind. You're not too late. You're not less of a man because things have changed. You're still capable, still worthy, still needed. And the path back to energy, intimacy, and connection, it's still open to you. Sometimes it just begins with a small, forgotten box of white powder and a willingness to try. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Next Chapter Wisdom, and your next chapter is just getting started.